What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know whenever a new episode is uploaded. So I talked about this story previously, and I said that if there were any updates, I would come back and let you all know. But the story was about 3 members of an LA family that were found guilty to over $18 million in COVID-19 relief fraud, and they were on the run. They were not able to be put in prison, and the monitoring devices they just kind of went into thin air, and nobody could really explain what was going on and where they were. Well, we have an update. The 3 members have been found. They were captured in Europe. So this story comes from the LA Times, and it says that the Tarzana couple and a family member who operated a massive COVID-19 relief fraud ring have been captured in Montenegro after fleeing the United States. Nicole Navis-Oxman, a spokesperson for the U.S. Department of Justice, told the Times that federal authorities are seeking the extradition of Richard Avazian, his wife Marietta Tarabellian, and his sister-in-law Tamara Dadian. Avazian, 43, and Tarabellian, 37, sliced off their electronic monitoring bracelets and vanished in August after they were convicted in June. Avazian was sentenced in absentia to 17 years in prison for leading a fraud ring that stole $18 million in a scam to secure emergency pandemic loans meant for small businesses upended by the lockdowns. And his wife was sentenced to 6 years. So $18 million in fraud. He got sentenced to 17 years and the wife got sentenced to 6. So he got about a year for each million that was not even allegedly, that was stolen. Dadian, the wife of Avazian's younger brother, vanished in January after the U.S. District Judge Stephen V. Wilson gave her 30 days to turn herself in over the objections of federal prosecutors who said they had no faith she could be trusted to surrender. And she had been sentenced to 10 years and 10 months in prison. Wow. So this capture in Europe was first reported by NBC News, and the 3 are among 8 convicted conspirators in the scheme. So this was a little ring. This wasn't just like a couple of people that had some applications put in hoping that they would get some money. Again, it baffles my mind how people have gotten so much in fraudulent relief that a lot of legitimate businesses did not get either any help from or limited help from. The group filed 151 fraudulent applications for loans that were supposed to keep small businesses nationwide from collapsing during the initial lockdowns of the COVID-19 pandemic. The family fraud ring created sham businesses to get many of the loans, attaching fake payrolls and forged tax returns to the applications. To open bank accounts for the businesses, they used the names of people whose identities were stolen. So people had their identities stolen. So this wasn't just they just got some money, like they were doing it big. They were doing it big time. And they spent the stolen money lavishly. And that's the thing that I am talking about even more stressing, because one, as a small business owner myself, which I've mentioned several times before, who has been affected by the pandemic, like most businesses that are small businesses have been, the audacity of the people to have this lifestyle that they tried to start living. They didn't just like do things under the radar. They were doing it like big time, buying mansions in cash, okay? Buying Rolex watches, Lamborghinis, Porsches, all of these different things to live a high lifestyle, and not saying that getting over $18 million in fraudulent money, you're going to be living in the ghetto or, in an apartment. But I'm just saying, like, the audacity of these people is just absolutely insane. But the fraud has come to an end, at least with this ring of people. And I'm happy that they got caught, because I really was furious that they let these people have the opportunity to turn themselves in, and then they sliced off the monitoring bracelets and they were on the run. I really was not surprised to hear that they got caught. I just didn't know when it would happen and if it was even going to be a priority to find these people, because the fact that so many people got money in the first place, in my opinion, just in my opinion, it made me feel like it wasn't really a priority in the first place to look out for legitimate businesses to make sure that they got the help that they deserved and that they needed, to allow so many frauds and scammers and schemers to get in the front of the line to get that money. And then once it all ran out, it ran out. And so it just wasn't cool to hear stories like this, and to hear about real legitimate small businesses who were deeply affected and they had to close their doors. So, bridal businesses, wedding, industry, like just so many venues, just so many different things. I could cross the gamut of different industries in business that were affected because the pandemic, as much as some people may think that it was not a real thing, it affected everyone in some way, shape, or form. So I'm happy to hear that they got caught. You let me know your thoughts about this story in the comment section. But yeah, I'm happy to hear that they were caught. And so we'll find out who's up next. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. And as always, I'm just being beautifully honest.